doing today? I just wanted to do a video about the today's play that we did in the Discord chat. Um, I played a few plays today, but the main one I'm going to talk about is Tesla. Tesla's been on this crazy run, and I've been able to get a couple plays in here on the call side. But once it got so overextended, I would play it here and there for some little scalps, but I knew at some point it was it wasn't gonna be able to sustain anymore. I mean, you had a pullback here, and I think I played the downside there, and you had a couple red days in here, but today, when it gapped up, it went on this crazy run. It was already totally overextended, and it finally makes this final gap. And a lot of you hear people call that the exhaustion gap. You'll hear Canal and Bulls on Wall Street talk about it. And basically, what happens is something goes on this crazy run, and it's already overextended, and it's just waiting to collapse. And then finally, it has this gap up, after it's been on this crazy run, and it's just at that point exhausted. And I was pretty sure that it was going to try to fill the gap today. In the morning I said that it would probably hit the 242 area, and I believe it got lower than that. I got out when it hit the 242 area. I believe it actually hit 240.75 as the low, as you can see up here. So I'm going to go over that play. Basically, let's go to intraday chart. I like to use the 3-minute or the 1 minute. Where is my 3-minute? 5 minute too. So, let's go to a 3-minute. All right. Now, if you look on, let's go. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have did that. If you look on the daily chart, where I got 242 from was about where the high of this day was. The high of this day was about 241. So I figured it could probably get down to the 241, 242 area, and I thought it was going to probably try to close most of the gap. So what happened was I got in short right out the open, and it did kind of scare me. It came back on me. I played two different puts, but let's see. I played today's January 20th expiration. So I played the 245 puts and the 242 50s. I played a few of the 245s, but my main position was in the 242 50s because I did think it could get that low, and I wanted to try to maximize my gains. But I played some 245s just in case it couldn't get that low. I still wanted to try to bring in some money from that way too. A lot of times I'll do that. I'll play a couple different, maybe not a few more than two, but I'll play two different calls. If I have an idea, like I think it's going to get down to the 242 level, but you're not really sure, and I didn't know if it could quite make it there. So I was like, well, then I'll play some 245s, but my main position was in the 242s, and I got out right here as it started to come back up. I just wasn't quite sure if it was once it got to that 242 level. Like I said, that was my target. So once it got there, I was just like, I had a feeling that actually it probably was going to go lower. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't really want to risk it and give back profits. And since that's what you got. I mean, once you pick a target, if you make your target, you can get out. I probably could have left a couple contracts for a lotto play to let it ride, but that's kind of what I already did. So what I did was basically I got in off the open. I bought some 245s and 242 50s. So it came down and it started to spike back up. And, I was down a little bit, but I was very confident that this thing was going to roll over. It came up, it touched pre-market highs. If it would have broke pre-market highs and started running, I would have got out. But obviously it couldn't break pre-market highs, which was a good sign. So I took that as a chance to add. So I added pretty good size to my position once it got up here. And I know a bunch of guys in the chat room then jumped in once they saw that it was starting to play out. You know, they saw that it couldn't sustain its highs and it started to roll over. And started to roll over, and basically what I did was I held through here. I added back on this. Pretty much what I'll do is I'll add on pops. I added back on this pop, and I covered a couple through here, and I added a couple more on this. I know the pop doesn't. This little pop doesn't look big on a 5-minute chart, but on a 3-minute chart, you know, it's a. Let's go to a 3-minute. You know, it's a little more. So I covered some through here, just a little bit, maybe like a quarter position, just to take a few profits. Added some more through this pop. Once I saw this go up and immediately get stuffed, I added more into this pop, and then once this got stuffed, I added more down. And I think I covered some into this flush, and then I think I even added maybe a couple more. That's how I like to do. I like to scale in and then add in on pops. And then I think I covered all. By here, I was pretty much covered most of my position, and then I let, you know, a few contracts ride down to here. And once I got into here and started spike back up, I just got out all my position, and I was hesitant and almost added into this pop. And that would have been a very smart idea, but being that it was already, I was playing that day's expiration, which I guess I could have played next week's expiration, you know, but I just didn't know if it was gonna, you know, get there. But obviously it did. It went all the way down to the low of, you know, into the 240s, which didn't really surprise me that much. I was pretty sure that it was going to try to fill this gap. I mean, being that it had been on this huge run, and, you know, it finally makes this exhaustion gap, you know, I had a feeling that it was going to close this gap. So that was pretty much my thought process behind that play. I know a lot of guys in the chat room scored big off of it. Ended up getting, I think, around 100% between everything. You know, I scaled out, so some were a little less, but I think towards the end of the day, the contracts ended up doing about 100%, you know, and I think some of the guys in the chat room ended up making like 50, 60 cents off their play, you know, which is not bad. You know, I think the options were, I can't even remember the price I paid for them, but I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, that was the play of the day. I also played GL. Well, let's look at Tesla first. So now Tesla's been on this big run. It closed the gap. You know, it's hard to say. I would like to see it come down and retest this support, this resistance that was resistance, and use this as support. If it can, you know, if it can hold these highs, that'd be great. But I'll definitely give it some time to cool off and see what happens. You know, I would like to even see it give back a, you know, today's Thursday, so tomorrow I would like to even see it probably give back some more. You know, I'll be looking to play some puts depending on what the chart looks like, but I definitely don't think I'll be playing calls anytime, you know, not in the next few days for sure. I think it needs some time to cool off. It's been on this big run. I think it could do something like this, you know, maybe have a couple days of pullback, but man, this thing just doesn't seem like it wants to slow down. But you know, pullbacks are healthy, so I think it really needed this in order, you know, for anybody who's bullish on this long term, who's hoping it's going to go to the 260s, 270s. I think this is what it needed. So I'll definitely be looking forward to give a little bit back for the next few days, and then maybe look to you know, get back in for a bigger run. So another one I played today was GLBS. Obviously it's been on this big run. You know, I was hesitant to get in, being that it was, you know, the fourth day up, but the way it was running, you know, why is it not? So I got in right around, I think I got in right around here, but I scalped it. You know, I scalped a little bit here on the run up, and then it came back, it pulled back, and I got in here around this area off the bounce of the 9 EMA. That's pretty much my favorite setup, guys. Everybody asks me what, you know, for small caps at least, I like to get in on pullbacks. You know, I like to get in. It runs up, and then I also think I scalped it again here. You know, I like when things come down, touch the 9, and once I see it, you know, especially if it goes below the 9 and then instantly gets stuffed back up and closes above the 9, I'll look to get in right there. So I think I got in on this candle for another little, you know, 10-20 cent scalp. Nothing major, but you know, it adds up when you get 10 cents here, 10 cents there with a few thousand shares. So that was another one I played. Let's see. I took a loss on let me look. 1 second. Okay, so I'll tell you everything I played. Okay, so Cat B. This was another winner. I played this later in the day. Right around, let's see, where did I get in at this? I'm trying to think where I got in at this at. I believe it was, you know, I believe it was right in here. No, I think it was right in here, a matter of fact. Whenever, yeah, that's what it was. I think, like I said, as it pulled back, I saw it hold the moving averages, and I believe I got in. You know, not for much. I think it was like $400 or something. You know, I didn't put much, but I got in on this bounce off the moving averages and rode it up for, you know, a little 20 cents or something. Nice little profit, but that's pretty much with the small caps, man. I just, you know, smaller caps, they're very, you know, they whipsaw a lot and they're back and forth. So I don't, usually I like to get in on a pullback, you know, because I hate getting in when something's going up because I just don't know if it's going to fall out. So I feel a lot more comfortable when something comes down and I see it's coming down, and then as it, you know, as it hits these moving averages, it instantly gets stuffed and holds them, you know. So it instantly, you can see, it gives you confidence because you can see that the moving averages are acting as support. So for me anyways, that gives me a little more confidence. You know, I see it come down and instantly hold those moving averages. And when I see it come down and instantly, you know, stuff back up and hold those moving averages, I'll look to get in right there. And then you have a very tight stop because your stop is just under the moving averages. You know, if, for instance, if it would have came down, it breaks the moving averages, right? It comes back up. You wait for confirmation. It comes back up. Bam. As soon as I see the green candle start to print and it reclaims, it looks like it's going to hold, you get in. Well, if it was to kind of come up and then, you know, start to come back down, I'm going to just get out. You know, it's not holding the moving averages like I thought. That's the reason I got into trade. So therefore my trade plan is no longer valid. So therefore I'll get out. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I look for on the small caps. So yeah, that was a good one. And then also took a loss on this. Let's see, I tried to get in right here as it came down, came above the moving averages, same play. You know, it's not going to always work, but if you'll notice, a lot of times it will work. You get in here, bam, comes down, you get in here, you know, right up. Now I'm just talking about scalping. You know, with these small caps, that's what I do. I scalp. I'm not comfortable holding them, you know, all day. You know, sometimes if it's a smooth trender that's kind of trending up slowly, I will, but all this back and forth, I just can't. It gives me a heart attack. I can't hold for long. I would rather go in a little bigger size and scalp for 10 or 20 cents and get out quick than go smaller size and hold for longer, because you just never know when the bottom just is going to fall out. So I tried to get in right here as it came back up over these moving averages. I got in right here. As soon as it got up, it came back down. I thought it would hold. Then it started to print this red candle, and it came below, and I was about to get out, and right before I could get out, it just tanked on me. And, you know, I took about I don't know, I forget how much I lost. You know, I think $1,200. I don't know. Took a nice little loss on V-Ray, so that kind of sucked. Those are the 3 plays that I played today. Yes, those are the 3 plays I played today. So I just want to look at a couple things though with y'all. So let's see. I've been looking at Amazon a lot lately, and what I like about Amazon is I like that it's made these 3 red days. Now you see, kind of did this little S shape, you know, this little snake pattern. every time a couple red days, a couple green days, red days, a couple green days, red days, green days. It had these 2 red days, green days, puts in a couple red days, comes back to support at the moving averages. What do you know? It holds the moving averages. Well, now we look forward to making another leg up. Now, that's what we look for. That's ideal. Is it going to happen? I don't know. We're just really going to have to keep an eye on it, guys. I'm waiting for it. I know I watch Amazon every day. I love playing that stock. I love playing the options. The options are liquid. You can get in and out. And when this stock moves, it moves, and you can make a lot of money. And, yeah, the options can sometimes be expensive, but I keep telling y'all guys it doesn't matter. A lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to play Amazon options unless it's on Thursday and Friday when they're cheap, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't matter. They always want to go for these stocks that have cheap options. But listen, if you have $1,000 and that's all that you can put into a play, if you get 100 contracts at 10 cents a piece for $1,000, let's say that Amazon options were 10 cents a piece, and you got 100 of them for $1,000, or you got one of them for $10. Whether you have 100 contracts or you have one contract for $10, and you put for $1,000, you use that $1,000 to either buy one contract for $10 or 100 contracts for 10 cents. You spent $1,000 to get into the position. If the option makes 100% moves, you still make $1,000. So it doesn't matter what how much the options are. Like, yeah, when I play options on Amazon, obviously I can't get as much, but it doesn't matter to me because I know whatever I put into that, if it makes a nice run, sometimes you get 100, 200, 300, 400, 1,000% in a day sometimes these options make. And I know it doesn't matter if I can even just get one option. If it makes 1,000% gain, I'm going to make 1,000% of what I put in. So don't always worry about how much they cost. Options on Amazon are great to play. They make big moves. This thing puts in $12 days. This one had this day right here. I played it on this day. Bunch of guys in the chat room got in on it. A low of 778, a high of 799. So it put in $11 move. Options are going to pay out really, really good on a day like that. 400%, 300%. You never know. I think from right here this day, since and options are weird because some days they'll pay out more depending on what day of the week it is, how far away it is to expiration, implied volatility, all that. But I remember this day right here, options paid out like a 1,200%. So, yeah, I'll be looking for Amazon to definitely, I like how it's kind of doing like it did right here. It had 2 down days and kind of came back up. So it's holding this 9 moving average. It's pretty good. I think tomorrow we could have a bounce day. We'll see. But I pretty much just wanted to go over the plays for today. Everybody did good in the chat room, man. I know some guys made some money off that Tesla. That was a perfect play, the Tesla play. But other than that, that's about all I got into today, guys. Also, as you can see, NVIDIA has been, it's finally found some support down here. As you can see, it's catching support right here on this day, from right here. It's found support at 101.50 area. It kind of broke through right here, but it never could get past this $100 level. So you're starting to see it curl back up. It's reclaimed a 9 moving average. This really wouldn't be a bad time to get in, to try to make, if people who like to swing trade, of course it might have another little red day here and make its way up, but it's reclaimed a 9 moving average. That's definitely a healthy sign. Let's see what else was big movers today. On the top percent gainers, you just had some crazy. Market's been so crazy lately. V-Ray, Naked, URRE made a big move at the end of the day. This market's been on fire. Everything has been moving like just, you see all these small caps, especially for small caps. You see these small caps. I remember, 6 months ago when a stock would move $1 or $2 was a big deal, but now you see 5 stocks moving $3-4 a day on the small cap. So, but that's all I got today. Oh, and with indicators, I know people always ask me about indicators. With indicators, guys, all I use, this is my 9 moving average, the 20 moving average, the 50, 9 exponential, 20 exponential, 50 simple, and 200 simple moving average. And this right here is my VWAP. And then I keep my RSI up for oversold, extreme conditions. That's it, man. I don't like to have anything more than that. Oh, and CSX. Someone told me something about these things went 4,000. Let me check that out. See if that's right. So CSX, they just found out that they're something about they're getting a new, talking about maybe getting a new executive chairman or something like that. So it gaps up, makes this crazy run. Some guys in the Discord played puts on it. I wasn't comfortable playing puts because the way that it took this news, I don't know. Usually I think it will give some back, guys. But I think that you have to be careful, because on a day like this where it could gap up, you really don't know how far this thing's going to go. I mean, it could have another day tomorrow before it tries to turn back over. But I do think it'll probably eventually give some back for guys who like to swing trade. But I wasn't comfortable trying to get in on that. But I want to look at something, so we're going to go. All right, so let's see. Intraday, 5 minutes. Okay, so here it is. All right. All products. We can go to CSX. Let's see. All right, so it was down here at $37 where it closed at. Now, if you could have, let's see what the $40 calls would have did. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, the $40 calls closed at a cent, down here at around a cent or 2 cents. And yeah, as you can see, they closed at $5. So guys, this is the type of money that you can make with options. This is crazy. I mean, we're talking about insane amount of money. I mean, the type of money, you could never make this type of money without options. I mean, literally, you put $1,000 into this and it goes up, $1,000 potentially gives you $500,000. So just think about that. You get them here for a cent and it gaps up and you have the potential to turn that into $500,000. I mean, obviously, it's so hard to catch moves like this because you never know when the news is going to come out. But this is just something where it gaps up overnight is pretty hard. It's going to be rare where you would get into a weekly thinking that it's going to gap up. I mean, that's just like pure gambling, and you would have just had to get lucky. But on NVIDIA, I did a video where a while back where, from here on NVIDIA, from here, then this would not be a case where you were waiting for it to gap up. From this red day right here, that red day right here, if you would have got in as it bounced off of that moving averages, that the calls were going for like 2 cents, and then they went up to like 150 times your money right here for those next 2 days. So that is an opportunity to where you could have been in. That was a good setup. You could easily look at that setup and say, hey, it came up, it came back down, it's coming back up, it comes back down. Let me pull it on a bigger chart for y'all, so y'all can see it. So, I already did a video on it, but whatever. So it comes up, comes back down, goes up, comes back down, goes below the 20, reclaims the 20. That's a perfect sign to get in. I mean, I wasn't fortunate enough to get in, but I do take positions like that all the time. Just as I told you with the small caps, I love that setup. So if I would have got in, you get them for 2 cents down here on this day, and then it paid out like 150 times your money in those next 2 or 3 days. So that's what options can do for you guys. I just wanted to go over the plays we did today. Y'all subscribe to the channel. If there's anything else y'all want me to do videos on, y'all let me know. As far as Dow 2000, let's look at that real quick before I let y'all go. Well, looks like they just didn't want it to happen, you know. Who knows? You know, right now, you know, this thing went on this big run with Trump, and now that he's, you know, going to step into office and all that, you know, some people are saying once he, you know, he gets inaugurated, some people are saying it's going to just plummet. Some people think it's going to go on another crazy run. Me personally, I don't like to predict. I just like to go with a bunch of what ifs. You know, if this happens, then I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do this. You know, it's too hard to predict. I don't like to guess and hope. I just like to play the chart for what it's doing and use the signals that I have to try to make an educated guess on what I think may happen. You know, I mean, I guess in a sense you're always guessing on what's going to happen, but you can't just guess blindly. You have to use the chart, use the signals you have, the information that is provided to you to make an educated guess on, you know, historical things that have happened in the past that what could happen again. So we'll see. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all guys. I just wanted to go over the play that we did in the chat room. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. We eating. Later, y'all.